Rick Westway, come forward.
Accepting for Rick Westway, John Haney. Rick's out of town, but I'll tell you, lighting the inside and the outside of the governor's mansion really deserves this. Thank you.
I know work comes first, but if I was ever nominated for an Emmy, I don't think I could stand to go out of town. Could you, Jim?
I would be right here.
I was sitting right down front
yes.
saying, is it time yet? Okay, the next category is for writing. And the nominees are Jim Axel for Aerosol Cans, The Ozone Controversy, WAGA. Don Smith, Israel, WAGA. And the winner is...
The winner is Jim Axel.
I can't quite believe this because Don Smith is the best writer I know. Thank you.
The next category is that of Outstanding Achievement Artist, and the nominee is Virginia Staples, WSB. And Virginia Staples, come up and get your Emmy.
This is a real honor. Thank you very much.
And our final announcement of the evening is Outstanding Achievement in the category of Talent. Paul Raymond, TV5 Editorials, WAGA, and Gene Sinclair, AM Atlanta, WXIA. And
This is the last one.
that's
This
it
is
for
it.
us.
Okay.
It's not the last one.
There's more to come.
Yes.
The winner is Gene Sinclair.
Here comes quite a lady. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nancy. This is really an honor, and I want to start by thanking the Miami chapter for giving me this award. And next, I guess I should really thank the folks at Channel 11 who took a chance on a real novice. And Neil Kubin over there, you've got pretty good judgment, as well as being a very fine man when it comes to constructive criticism, and I really appreciate it. I'd also like to congratulate Paul Raymond. Paul, I don't know if it's ever happened before that talent went up against a general manager and talent won. I don't know how that ever happened. I'd also like to thank John Wade, who, well, I just couldn't have been assigned to work with a more helpful man being a novice in the television industry. And also to our dynamite producer, Penny, we got it. Thanks a million for everything. What? And then I'll sit down after I thank Clay and Clayton, who never complained about the makeshift breakfast that I left when I was getting out of the house early in the morning. Thank you very much.
It's a common criticism of television news that it only hits the high points, that it's just a headline service. We respectfully disagree. And we have proof. This year's nominees for features in news programs, pieces that offer insights into how we live, problems, and pleasures that we face. To present that Emmy, and the one for this year's Best Achievement in News, is the editor of the Atlanta Constitution and host of WGTV's weekly series, Atlanta Week in Review, Hal Gulliver, and the promotion director and cultural affairs producer for the Georgia Public Television Network, Barbara Piercecki.
Barbara and George.
I'm a confirmed print journalist. Barbara, what am I doing here anyway? This kind of crowd. One of those who still says cynical things about television news like it's only television if it moves. But in fairness, I want to add quickly that newspapers and magazines have been with us for hundreds and hundreds of years. Television really is a fantastic new medium, relatively, and one that in a very short time has reached high standards of excellence in news programming and news reporting. On that basis, it's a pleasure to say that the next category is Best News Features within regularly scheduled news programs. First, edible newspaper, WAGA-TV, Don Smith, producer. Second, Georgia Traveler, Doe-Run newspaper, WSB-TV, Andy Johnston, producer. And third, aerosol cans, the ozone controversy, WAGA-TV, Jim Axel, producer.
The time may come when one goes for a posh dinner in a posh restaurant and feasts on all manner of papery prandial. One might, for example, begin with a sliced salad of comics, vinaigrette. And he could continue with editorials a la Maurice. And what tastier than Wattads and wine sauce? Speculate on the pleasures of sports page au poivre. And to conclude, the unnourishing but tantalizing taste of front page flambé.
Let's speak up for good things and condemn bad things.
Wood Garrett's a busy man. The Doran Courier has to go to press, and it's up to him to get it ready. He's a combination reporter, typesetter, office boy, printer, and editor. I guess you could say that Mr. Garrett is the Doran Courier. For close to 60 years, he's been a journalist, each week gathering his news, setting the type by hand, and then spending one entire night printing his paper. Wood Garrett is the only man left in the country who still hand sets and prints a newspaper.
It was here at Aeromist Corporation that I got my education in aerosol packaging. Manufacturing manager Dale Stover took me through the plant. First to the big tanks outside that contain the propellant used by the aerosol packager. This is where the controversy lies, in the type of propellant used. But we'll get into that later in our reports. The most common propellants are fluorocarbons 11 and 12, hydrocarbons, then propane, and others like carbon dioxide.
It should be noted quickly that the announcer of this winner is a winner herself earlier this evening. Barbara.
Thank you. I've been waiting all night to say, and the envelope, please. So the winner tonight is Aerosol Cans, the Ozone Controversy. Jim Axel, producer.
It took about 6 weeks to do the research on this highly technical subject and to try and put it into words that the average consumer could understand. The final product simply could not have been put together without the efforts of Mel Farr, my editor, Jeff Weinberg, the director, who helped to package it, and an awful lot of craft people who work behind the scenes in our engineering department. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. I thank you very much.
Outstanding Achievement, Best News Program. The nominees are Action News, WSB-TV, Skip Haley, News Director. News Scene WAGA-TV, J. Mark Doyle, News Director. Pro News WXIA-TV, Virgil Dominic, News Director.
Action News for Wednesday, April 14th. Now, here's John Pruitt.
Good evening. The body of 42-year-old Atlanta man was pulled from the Chattahoochee River this morning, almost 24 hours after he and his 11-year-old son went under near Martin's Landing.
We still have that ridge of high pressure over the southeastern states, but there have been some minor modifications in it during the past 24 hours. The ridge is still there, but we have a little trough of low pressure that exists right down across the northern part of the state and back into central Alabama.
Those party-pooping Reds did it again last night. They took a beautiful evening with traditional opening ceremonies and 6 innings of shutout pitching by Carl Morton and messed up the whole thing.
This is TV5 News Scene with Chuck Moore and Jim Axel. Bill Hartman on sports, Guy Sharp with the weather, and Paul Reynolds with Contact 5. Here's Chuck Moore.
Good evening. Here's what's happening. The body of 42-year-old Vance Miller of Atlanta was recovered today from the Chattahoochee River.
The real troublesome area is the winter storm that really is just, it's developing very, very nicely, if you can use that word, for a storm.
The Braves, through the down-home voice of owner Ted Turner, announced last night that former Dodger and the million-dollar man Andy Messersmith will pitch against his old teammates on Sunday afternoon.
Virgil Dominic, David Grant, Bob Neal, Pro News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Becker. Virgil Dominic is on vacation this week. Rescuers have given up hope now for a young boy still missing in the swift waters of the Chattahoochee River near Roswell.
This entire area from the East Coast westward out in through the Central Plains and all of the Mississippi Valley area from the Gulf on northward through the lakes is dominated with high pressure. A lot of warmth. In fact, at South Bend, Indiana, now it's as warm practically as it is down at Brownsville, Texas.
Baseball just started, and already ballots are being prepared for the All-Star Game, which will be played in Philadelphia on July 13th. 128 players will be listed. Only 3 Braves names will be on the National League All-Star ballot. First baseman Darrell Evans, outfielders Jimmy Wynn and Ken Henderson, both newcomers to the Braves.
This is a big one. This is an important one. And the winner is News Scene WAGA-TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. My personal thanks to Paul Raymond, the Vice President and General Manager of Channel 5 Television, and Astoria Broadcasting Company for creating the kind of environment to work where we can win these kinds of awards. Also to the more than 175 people who work at Channel 5 Television, to them, our thanks.
What a nice way to wrap up a television program that came to you throughout the state of Georgia through the facilities of WAGA. Picking the winners is one of the hardest jobs in the world, as you know. Miami, as you could see tonight, did not have an easy job this year. It was the chapter in Miami that chose the winners tonight. What you have seen is the barest hint of what television was, locally produced last year in Georgia. It's an old saw, but it's a true one. It's quite an honor to be nominated. That might be cold comfort for the ones who didn't work. Before we say goodnight, a special thanks to Larry Lowenstein, who worked so very hard on this program. Thanks also to the help that I received from Danny Royal, who assisted me throughout the evening and is truly a man in charge of a program, the kind that makes the nervous talent look good. Thanks also. I return to Chicago now, once again impressed with the city of Atlanta. No kidding. People in Chicago brag about you and your city, and we can't even claim it as our own. You know that. This is a town that doesn't have meetings. It just says, let's do it. And you've done it. A truly remarkable city. Winston Churchill is said to have received a telegram on one occasion from George Bernard Shaw, which said, Sir Winston, I would like to have you in attendance at the opening performance of my new play on Broadway. Bring a friend if you have one. To which Churchill replied, Sir Bernard, I shan't be able to be in attendance at the opening performance of your new play on Broadway. However, I would be happy to be at hand for the second performance, if there is one. The enthusiasm and the talent manifested here tonight display the fact that there will be, certainly has been and will be, more than one performance from the National Academy's chapter here in Atlanta. It's been my pleasure to come back and see your wonderful city, more importantly, to meet all of you who've worked so very hard to make Atlanta one of the leading television cities in the country. I thank you all. Congratulations to the winners, and good night from the Omni International Hotel. Good night, everybody.
Live from the Omni International Hotel in Atlanta, you've been watching the second annual Atlanta Area Emmy Awards, brought to you by the World of Sid and Marty Cross and the CNS Banks of Georgia. Portions of this program were pre-recorded. On behalf of the Atlanta chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, this is Jerry Immel speaking. Good night.
"26 California school children who were abducted on Friday are back with their parents tonight. GOP challenger Ronald Reagan is closing the delegate gap on President Ford now, while Democratic presidential nominee Jimmy Carter gets to teach Sunday school tomorrow. I'm Ken Roberts. The full story next, right here on TV5 News Scene.
Billy, send the car later.
Oh, Mom.
It's headache.
Take something strong. Adult strength Anacin.
Aren't they all for adults?
Yes, but while Bayer, Bufferin, and Anacin start with the same amount of pain reliever, adult strength Anacin adds 23% more. Then Anacin adds an extra ingredient, not